By 1993, when Pablo Escobar was finally hunted down and killed on a rooftop in Medellin, the shockwaves of his death did not remain in Colombia. They erupted across the United States, transforming the drug landscape in Miami, New York City, and every major cocaine corridor in between. For over a decade, Escobar had been the central pillar of the Medellin cartel's global empire, orchestrating shipments worth billions and dictating the rhythms of the U.S. cocaine market with terrifying precision. His violent reputation, his unmatched wealth, and his iron control had kept rivals, lieutenants, and local distributors in line. When news of his death reached Miami and NYC, it triggered a seismic shift in the underworld. The powerful, ruthless leadership that once held the system together vanished overnight, leaving a power vacuum that caused immediate chaos. Rival Colombian organizations, particularly the Cali cartel, moved quickly, pushing to fill the void with quieter, more business-like strategies. They reduced public violence, cut deals with distributors, and leveraged political connections, knowing that the market left behind by Escobar's fall was far too valuable to abandon. In Miami, traffickers who had once operated under Escobar's shadow now scrambled to secure new suppliers, navigating a suddenly unstable network where loyalties dissolved, alliances shifted, and violence simmered beneath the surface. Stash houses changed hands, routes were restructured, and prices fluctuated wildly as dealers fought to keep profit margins stable. Meanwhile, in New York City, long dominated by Escobar's fast and aggressive distribution model, smaller Colombian groups and Dominican organizations saw an opening, stepping into territory once controlled with fear by the Medellin cartel. As shipments slowed temporarily and the once reliable supply chain faltered, street-level operations became unpredictable. Some independent traffickers tried to form their own networks, attempting to bypass cartels altogether, while others quietly aligned with Cali-backed factions, hoping to survive the turbulent transition. Law enforcement, initially celebrating Escobar's downfall, soon realized that the U.S. drug market had not shrunk, instead, it splintered. The loss of a single dominant figure did not end cocaine trafficking. It fragmented it, creating a landscape where more groups, more routes, and more hands were involved than ever before. Miami's D offices recorded a sharp increase in mid-level traffickers competing for new sources, while offshore smuggling routes began shifting toward Mexico, where emerging cartels sensed opportunity. The vacuum Escobar left became a gateway for the rise of Mexican trafficking organizations, which gradually transformed from transporters into powerful suppliers, especially as the Cali cartel's dominance began to wane. In both Miami and New York, informants reported confusion, mistrust, and an escalating number of disputes as former Medellin factions fought among themselves for leftover connections, money, and unclaimed territory. Some splinter groups attempted to revive Escobar's tactics, using violence and intimidation to assert dominance, but without his leadership and funding, their efforts collapsed quickly. Others adapted, blending into the quieter corporate-style laundering systems pioneered by Cali. Street dealers, accustomed to the stability and predictability of Escobar's centralized operations, now found themselves navigating a marketplace ruled by uncertainty. Prices fluctuated week to week, cartel representatives rotated constantly, and the once clear chain of command became a maze of competing bosses, secret negotiations, and dangerous power plays. At the same time, U.S. demand for cocaine remained as high as ever, ensuring that the market did not shrink, it evolved. Nightclubs in Manhattan, luxury condos in Miami, and underground networks from Brooklyn to Little Havana continued to pulse with product. But the branding behind the operation no longer carried the weight of a single name. Escobar's death marked the end of one era and the chaotic birth of another, where power no longer sat in the hands of one man but was scattered among countless factions eager to capitalize on his absence. In the months following his death, Miami and NYC became living maps of shifting alliances. Former Medellin lieutenants quietly replaced Cali brokers establishing footholds, Mexican intermediaries rising in influence, and Dominican groups controlling more of the retail-level distribution than ever before. Escobar's fall did not dismantle the empire he built. It simply released it into the wild, allowing others to reshape it. Over time, this fragmentation paved the way for a new, more decentralized, more elusive drug market, one where no single leader would ever, again, wield as much power as Pablo Escobar had, but where the networks he created continued to thrive under new leadership, new roots, and new blood. In the United States, his death was not the end of the cocaine era. It was the moment it evolved into something more complex, more distributed, and ultimately harder for law enforcement to contain, leaving behind a legacy of transformation that reshaped Miami, New York City, and the entire architecture of drug trafficking for decades to come.